Every Mercedes-Benz G-Class begins life in Graz, Austria, in a factory where steel meets craftsmanship. Machines and humans work side by side to create one of the world's toughest luxury SUVs. This is how the Mercedes G-Class was made in their Austrian mountain factory. Our story begins with raw coils of steel and aluminum delivered to Graz by rail and truck. Inside Magna Steyr's massive press hall, each coil is fed into stamping presses as tall as a two-story house. These presses flatten and cut the metal into precise blanks: roof sheets, floor panels, door skins, and body side panels. Automated arms feed each blank into a progressive die system. With each thunderous strike, the dies trim edges, punch mounting holes, and shape complex curves. This precision ensures that doors later align perfectly without manual shimmying. Finished parts travel overhead on conveyors, already sorted into batches for different models: civilian G500s, high-performance AMG G63s, or even military variants. From here, the body shop takes over. It's a careful balance of people and robots. Around 400 individual pressings are welded together to create the G-Class's boxy skeleton. Roughly 6,500 spot welds hold the whole thing together. Most are performed by robotic arms for speed and consistency, but technicians still handle all the tricky welds: the A-pillars, roof seams, and the triangular rear windows. Laser welding closes long joints with hair-thin accuracy, preventing roof distortion that customers would notice immediately. Workers bolt on the heavy-duty door hinges, fit the bonnet and tailgate, and double-check panel gaps. By the time this stage is complete, the G's legendary box shape is unmistakable. But a raw body needs protection. The shell is cleaned in a high-pressure rinse booth, removing dust and mill scale. Then it's lowered into a 360-degree electro-coat bath. Here, an electric charge pulls anti-corrosion primer deep into every seam, rail, and hinge pocket, coating areas that spray guns could just never reach. After baking, the body is sanded, primed, and painted in its chosen color. Anything from Mojave silver to China blue. A clear coat baked at 165 degrees Celsius seals the surface, giving the paint its lasting shine. The freshly painted shell cools on a buffer line, ready for the next step in the process. While the body waits, something equally important is being prepared: the ladder frame chassis that makes the G-Class so darn tough. Unlike most modern SUVs, the G-Class is still built on a separate ladder frame. This traditional construction is a key to its off-road strength. Frames arrive from a subplant already welded but unfinished. Over at Station 1, workers sandblast the steel to remove impurities. Then they spray on a rock-hard powder coat designed to resist decades of gravel, salt, and mud. Next come the suspension and the axles. Brackets are mounted, followed by cast-iron differentials equipped with electronic locking systems. Each motorized locker is bench-tested for smooth operation before being installed. Coil springs and adaptive dampers are aligned by laser so the vehicle maintains a neutral ride height on road and trail. Engines arrive from Mercedes plant in Affalterbach. For AMG versions, it's the hand-built 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, producing a ton of power. Standard models receive detuned versions of the same architecture. A ceiling hoist lowers the engine and transmission into the frame. Workers secure them with torque-to-yield bolts, tightened until they deform slightly for maximum clamp force. Then come drive shafts, transfer cases, and cooling systems, creating the G's permanent four-wheel drive backbone. At the fluid station, metered hoses fill precise amounts of oil, coolant, and transmission fluid. A vacuum system removes air pockets, ensuring reliable circulation. Meanwhile, the painted body shell has reached its most critical step: its marriage with the frame. With the drivetrain complete and the body ready, the two halves of the G-Class finally come together in a dramatic union known as the wedding. Inside the bright marriage hall, a slow-moving lift raises the ladder frame. Overhead, the painted body shell descends carefully. Hydraulic pins align 16 reinforced mounts, while pneumatic wrenches tighten each bolt in a star pattern. Every torque value is logged by the computer for traceability. In just minutes, an empty shell becomes a rolling vehicle. Before this union, technicians had already begun interior assembly. Wiring harnesses are laid across the floor channels and clipped with color-coded retainers. Barcodes are scanned to confirm each loom matches the build order. Thick sound-deafening mats are pressed onto the firewall and floor, helping today's G-Class ride far quieter than the 1979 original. Dashboards, trimmed in leather or microfiber, are slid in with millimeter clearance. Seats with massage, heating, and cooling functions arrive pre-upholstered from Graz's trim shop. Craftsmen carefully match leather grains across panels so that seams flow naturally. Once the body and frame are married, wheels and tires, 19, 20, or even 22-inch, are mounted, balanced to within 2 grams. The G rolls under its own weight for the first time. Electronics are connected and tested. Engineers plug diagnostic tablets into the OBD port, flash the ECU with country-specific software, and run a full power-on test. Each button, sensor, and switch is verified. At the water booth, the G-Class faces a 10-minute shower test. Dozens of high-pressure jets soak the vehicle from every angle. Fluorescent dye reveals any leak, even a drop. If a fault is found, the vehicle is rerouted to a rework bay. Next up comes the rolling dynamometer. The SUV simulates a city commute, a highway cruise, and a full-throttle climb. Technicians listen for driveline noise, calibrate ABS sensors, and sample exhaust gases to confirm emissions compliance. And if everything passes, the G fuels up for its most legendary trial, the shocked test. The G-Class may look finished, but it's not certified yet. For that, it has to prove itself on a mountain. Just 10 kilometers from the Graz factory lies Mount Schockel, the proving ground for every G-Class. Rising to 1,445 meters, it's a brutal off-road track designed to simulate years of wear in a single climb. The test loop equals 50 kilometers of real-world driving for every pass. Each new G runs this course twice. The first loop warms the fluids and venting systems. The second pushes harder, climbing rock steps, crawling over boulders, and splashing through deep water troughs. Vehicles are tilted up to 35-degree side slopes, stressing their frame and differentials. Only after a flawless descent does the vehicle earn its Schockel-proved badge. Back at the plant, alignment lasers fine-tune camber and tow. Headlight rigs set LED projectors to legal specifications. A paint doctor team inspects the body, polishing away any micro-haze. Quality auditors conduct a white glove inspection, pressing every seat switch, checking every control, and even measuring the thunk of the doors with acoustic sensors compared to a golden master file. Before shipping, the SUV passes through a detailing tunnel where soft brushes remove Schockel dust. Workers apply protective film to bumpers and sills, then photograph all 4 sides for digital records. Because many customers live far away, most G-Classes leave Graz on enclosed rail wagons or covered trucks. A final RFID scan logs its exit, linking chassis number to destination. From raw steel coil to finished icon, the journey takes about 40 work hours across 3 days, plus the mountain acceptance run. Thanks to Magna's mixed model system, a matte black AMG G63, a white G350D diesel, and a military 461 professional can roll off the same line one after another with barely a tooling change. This flexibility, combined with carbon-neutral power and greener paint processes, keeps the boxy legend alive. The G-Class remains one of the last SUVs built by traditional body-on-frame methods, yet it stands proudly in a world of modern crossovers. The Mercedes G-Class is more than an SUV. It's a hand-finished, mountain-tested machine, created with precision, tradition, and resilience. From steel presses to the mountain slopes, every step ensures that the G-Class remains one of the toughest and most desirable vehicles in the world.